Hey friends, I am so excited about our video today because I am going to be taking you on a tour of my home. And it's all because I have been featured in the latest issue of HGTV magazine. My home is featured in here. So I'm going to give you a little special tour of my home. Stick around afterward because I have a behind the scenes photo shoot, styling, and companion guide that I'm going to be giving you for free. So I'll see you in a minute. Hi, welcome in. I'm going to give you a home tour today. So we've lived in this house for about 12 years. It was built actually in 2003. It was built using old Victorian home plans. They did a few little tweaks to the design, added a few doors where they weren't originally. But they built it to look old. So we're in a historic district of our little town, Round Rock, Texas, just north of Austin. And they built our home to look like it fits in with the rest of them. So I'm going to show you a little bit around. So one of my favorite pieces that I found on Craigslist a long time ago was this amazing sofa, and I couldn't bring myself to change the upholstery of it, so I basically just cleaned it. I had to put on a new seat because it was sagging out the bottom, but I cleaned it and I left it really vintage-like because I know I would never be able to find that fabric at all, and it's amazing. So let me take you into the dining room. We love to entertain guests. We have lots of parties in our home, and often all the food is spread out on the table here. This is actually a 1950s table. It's a remake French table with fluted legs. It used to have a darker maple top on it, and I spent like about a week stripping the table, sanding it down, putting a natural finish on it. So I'm super happy with how it turned out, and it's more up to date with the type of decor I like to use in my room. I am constantly changing the dining chairs in here, changing the look. Lucky because I do chairs, so I can do that. These happen to have mostly Carrie Schmidt fabrics on them. These are part of my collection, my spring collection on my website. I love them. But one of the big focal points in this room is my amazing Frida picture painting. These were all painted by my daughter, and I'll show you some more throughout the house that we have. But she gave them to me as gifts in my home, maybe just for like my birthday, Mother's Day, Christmas. I would get a new Frida painting. And so this is her original. It's the biggest one that I have, and I love it. So I like to mix like more modern things with antiques, a more modern lampshade, old little milk crates, and of course I'm a big fan of dishes, and I'll show you those here in a minute. Okay, so with these chairs, the way I try to think about design is I want to do something different. If you notice that all the fabrics on these chairs are a little different from one another, but they all have a main color that ties them together, and that is the color pink. So that's why they can work together. You can have all different kinds of fabrics, different florals put together, and they work because they have the color pink. It's the common thread throughout them. On this one, I have more of kind of a canvas top. I have a velvet seat, and I just did a really fun little trim and a polka dot. That polka dot actually comes from the back of the chair here. That's really something I like to do. I like to mix it up and do something a little unexpected. Okay, here's another one that I really love. And so if you know anything about me, you know that I love buffalo check fabric. And so what I did on this one is I like to do buffalo checks on the seats. I like to sometimes do them on the back, and I did it on the seat here. I wanted to pull in a little bit of the color teal and turquoise, and so I was able to do that just by putting this amazing velvet floral fabric with that check seat. So it makes it a lot of fun. Okay, so on the back side of this one, I have buffalo check as well, but I did it on the diagonal. You have to be kind of careful when you're actually doing the upholstery because it can kind of pull in odd ways. But I wanted the diagonal just to kind of mix it up a little bit. And then of course the whole entire front is a complete floral. So I went with something super bold on the front with a real simple check on the back. On here, you'll see the buffalo check again. And here I have the green. I'm pulling out the green from the top, and it's also on the back. I love how there's a little bit of black mixed in. It gives more drama to the chair and helps all the other colors really stand out. Okay, sometimes I'll take a chair and I will do the floral all over it, the top, the bottom, and the back side, and that's exactly what I did on this one. If you'll notice that all of these chairs have a very light colored frame, they're actually unstained, they just have a clear coat finish on them, and I think that helps all the fabrics to really pop. Plus it goes with the top of my table, which is a little more modern, but it's still antique looking. It's something I really love. This is one of my favorite paintings. It's by Carrie Schmidt. It's an original, and I love it because it has all the great flowers in it, just like what I'm using on the fabrics on my chairs. Now, this other picture over here is a little different. This is something, and it's old, it's very vintage, and it's a collage. So there's like strange little pieces. It's even spattered with something on it, but I couldn't resist it. I found it at an antique shop down in Austin years ago and thought that is just the most interesting picture, and I just had to have it for my dining room. Okay, let's go on in my kitchen. I have a great swinging door right here. This kitchen is actually my office space, believe it or not. I sit at the kitchen table. My settee here, I actually have my morning coffee here. I look at my computer. I take care of all my business right here at the table. This is my happy place. I found this old settee about 12 years ago on Craigslist. I bought it for $100. It was when I was first learning upholstery. I took a couple courses, and it was my first big project to do. I did it on my own. I had learned how to tie springs, and so I spent about 5 months redoing this settee, and now it sits in my eating area, and I'm never gonna let go of this piece. I really love the chandelier. It's the first thing I did when we moved into our house 12 years ago. Is I found this on Craigslist. It was in a warehouse that they sold dresses, and these people were just selling them. I guess they had closed their warehouse down. So I went and snatched it because I knew I need something really dramatic, and it did not have a chandelier here, but I knew I wanted one. And as you can see, it's huge, but the space can totally handle it. So our kitchen is one of our main areas of our house. We use it every single day, obviously. And when we have parties at our house, this is the big gathering place. Usually we're mixing drinks right here. People are all around. They're in the living space and they're looking into here. But I want to show you my most favorite thing, which is behind the cupboards, and it is my dishes. So I'm a huge fan of dishes. I love Kim Parker dishes. These are some of my favorite because they're happy, they're floral. These are from the Pioneer Woman. I have some things from Martha Stewart as well. So anything that has flowers on them has a lot of color. I'm a huge fan, and as you can tell, I've got plenty of them to have my parties. So one thing I did last year was I decided to kind of take my top cabinets up a little bit, and I decided to add in wallpaper at the very back of the cabinets. I styled them in a little different way, and so I have this amazing pink wallpaper that I put at the very back of all my cabinets, styled them with different antiques and things that I found at flea markets along the years, and they make me really happy just to kind of sit in here and look at this space. Okay, so in our living room, this is a room that we relax in the evenings. We're usually watching TV, reading on the sofa, just taking it easy. So it's a style that I really love. I really love to have some glamorous style in a space. I like to mix kind of the cottage with the glam, and that's really a lot of my philosophy anyway, is to mix the styles that you really love. Who cares if it's a thing or not? Make it your thing, because this is your space. And so that's exactly what I've done. I have some antique chairs that I've recovered in animal print, which really is the neutral. It goes with every single space. It goes in every single color, but you can definitely use this as a neutral. I have a really bright rug, and then more of a traditional, glamorous Chesterfield style sofa. I've added in lots of pink in here, even in my bar stools, which really add a pop of color to the wall. But as you can see, I like architectural pieces. This piece up here was from an old house in Houston. They cut it out of the ceiling. That's where a chandelier used to hang through the middle. So I actually have the cutout piece of wood, and it is all plaster. So I got this as a gift for Christmas one year from my husband. So I really love old pieces like this. I love to have just an old column just standing, and I got this from a place down in South Texas in Gonzales. It came from a salvage yard. It's just an old post that was on the porch of an old house, and so now it's sitting in my living room. Okay, so I have another really great Carrie Schmidt original painting that I got from her. I just love how the drippy flowers go down, and I move my art all over my house, so it may be here now, but maybe in 6 months I'll put it in my dining room, so I like to mix that around. But as you can see, this is a perfect spot and space to have friends over. Everyone kind of gathers in this big round space, and we go in my dining room and grab our food, and everyone usually comes out here and eats. So it's a lot of fun to have like cocktail parties and things like that here. So one of my favorite places that I've just redone is my laundry room. I put up some fun wallpaper that I got online, and I took some very old beadboard that came from a house that's over 100 years old, and they were stripping it out. So I decided I wanted to put that in here, and I decided to paint it a really dark, vibrant green, which was a big risk, but I think it totally paid off. I walk in my laundry room, and I'm happy to do my laundry now. My stairwell is another favorite spot. I decided to update and add a little bit of fun. So I did some wallpaper on the front of my stairs as you walk up, just to give it a little bit of pop of color, plus be, you know, a little whimsical. And you'll notice the other Frida paintings as we go up, how much I love them. It's just an understatement, but these are great pieces that my daughter has painted, and I've paired them with antique frames that are all painted in vibrant colors. So one of our spare rooms belonged to my youngest daughter, and of course when my girls lived here, I let them do whatever they wanted to their rooms. But now that they're gone and they're off to college, it's my turn to do what I want, because they're serving as guest rooms now. So in her room, what I decided to do was kind of bring in yellow and green as the main colors. It's a very happy cottage look in here. I have a lot of old pieces, and I think it makes it very homey and fun. Okay, so who puts an awning inside their house? I do. I actually found this awning at an antique store for like $40. I took it all apart, spray painted it, and it's been actually different colors. So this is what it is now. I've done it over several times. I decided it's just a fun little spot. When you don't know what to do in a hallway, this is what you do. And I paired a couple chairs along with a table and some of my kids' artwork from when they were young. One of my favorite rooms is this room. This was one of my other daughter's room. It's a triadic colors where we have kind of more purples, and we have pink, and we have a little bit of orange with some green mixed together. It's real vibrant, it's real happy. Of course, I love hanging old shutters on the walls just to give it a little bit of cottage feel. I took an old lamp, painted it pink, and then kept the original lampshade because I just couldn't part with it. It's so darling. But this room really makes me happy. I love the pops of purple in it. Okay, so here in my bedroom, it's a very large room, and one of the big problems was, what do you do with such a big room? I mean, most of us have really tiny rooms in our homes. Well, this room, this house actually happens to have a big room. So it even had a fireplace, and that was another problem. Do we center around the fireplace, or do I just kind of ignore it and do what I want to do? And I ended up ignoring it this time around. And so I have a workspace over here where I can come up and I can brainstorm. I can keep a lot of my ideas for my chairs and my business on this table, and it's an old antique table. I got it in an estate sale. And I just paired it with some of my chairs around it. And then I have my bed on the other side of the room with dressers and armoires and things like that that we need. One of my favorite things is this great pink rug that I got, and I just absolutely love it. It has some really great colors in it, mixtures. It mixes and matches with the cottage look that I was going for in here. I decided to be a little bold and go with patterned curtains and drapes or shades for the window. And I'm really glad that I did, because it added real pops of color. I can pair anything with blue. I could do red, I could do yellow, or I could just do blue and green if I wanted to, or blue and pink. So it really gives me options when I'm decorating my space. And as well, I can just change up the pillows on the bed, and I've already done it a couple different times. I'm really happy with this, and I've painted the bed in a Annie Sloan blue chalk paint, which I really love. It kind of goes with the curtains, it goes with the floor, so I'm really happy with this. Knowing what to do with a fireplace can always stump a lot of people, and it does me too. But what I decided to just to take some popular art, art that I really love. One, the big one back behind is a Carrie Schmidt. I have another painting that I bought online, and then just a cheap painting that I bought actually at a big box store, and I just layered them together. I like old antique architectural salvage pieces, so again, you see pieces like this. I just love to decorate with pieces like that. And then I have some blocks used in printing, and so I have a lot of these. I'm doing a little collection. Probably one day we'll do my own fabric with those, so I really love that. And then just put some old buoys in the fireplace. We live in Texas, so we're never going to use the fireplace the way it's supposed to be used. So this just kind of makes it a little fun, a little unexpected. I'm all about doing something a little unexpected in a space. So it's fun to create little nooks in your spaces, and so here's one example of this. I have an old chair that I got at an antique store, and it really is old and wicker, and it was already painted pink, so it's perfect for me. I have an old chippy table with some bird houses that I got a long time ago when I was first married, so I've just kind of kept them, and I'll probably end up reusing them outside at some point. But here's just an old folk art painting that my husband had done of me, and he gave it to me for my birthday when I turned 40. And so I've always kept this. This is in our previous home. It's just me sitting on the back porch, and he had a local artist paint it. So being in my bathroom, you would think it's an old house because we got a real amazing claw-footed tub. I have an old antique chair that I've redone in beautiful fabric, and have a really fun chandelier over there. But this is a newer house, and so it truly was built to look old with even the marble flooring. So I'm really happy in this space. It's great to get ready in here. It makes me start the day fresh and new every day, and I really love it. All right, a getaway spot for me when I need to just rest my mind is out on my porch off of my bedroom. So let me take you out here. I love to hang in my hammock. You can hear all of the bugs around us just buzzing. It's real green. It's very serene feeling out here, and I just love this space. And honestly, this is the space that sold us on the house when we looked at it 12 years ago. I was standing out here with my husband. I said, oh my gosh, we could have our coffee out here. We have to buy this house. And so this kind of started us on the journey of getting the house, and we're really happy with it. Okay, so this is Nike. She's one of my little dogs, and then we have little Zeus here who will be snorting and walking around with us too. My back porch is a place I like to hang out. I love it, just being able to relax out here. I can hear the water from the pool. I have an old antique Coke machine that I keep all my Topo Chicos in that I love to drink. So it's just a really relaxing space. Something that I really love. We can follow around. What I really love about the house is that it has a wraparound porch. I love taking care of my plants. I'm out here every evening watering everything. I love ferns. They make the house look really homey. It's a great place to visit with friends out here, drinking lemonade. It's something I really enjoy. One thing I really love is I found an old coffee table for $5 at a yard sale. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have a place for it, but I bought it and I thought, oh, it's perfect for my porch. So I sit it out here. I love it. Great place to put plants on. All right, thanks for coming by. See you later. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I have a very special freebie that I would love to give to you. It is a behind the scenes photo shoot styling companion, and it shows all the pictures behind the scenes as well as ones that did not make the cut for the magazine. As always, friends, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel, like this episode, and if you happen to pick up the latest issue of HGTV magazine, let me know if you saw me in there and what you enjoyed the most about the magazine. I'll see you soon, friends.